Hello, everybody. Okay, so I didn't know I was going to do this, but I am because it's so fun. This is going to be part 2 of the Paint with Me Courage Card class. And this was number 1. I added some things to this. So this is what I did. And you can, if you're coming into part 2 first, just go back and find the part 1 video, and you can make something that looks like this or something that looks completely different. Whatever you make, perfect. Super fun, super easy. So what we're going to do on this side, and I love this, is we're going to do a paint by number. It's so exciting and so fun. I did this with my sister down in Texas, and it was amazing. I loved it. Loved it, loved it. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to choose 5 colors. So I am going to, let's see, what do we need first? We need a pen. A pencil. We need a pencil. We need some watercolor brushes, whatever sizes you want to have. We need some watercolor. We're only gonna need 5 colors, or you could choose more if you wanted to, but we're just gonna start with 5 because 5 seems like it will match the page. We need a piece of paper, and it could be the one you did from part 1. So I'm gonna do this right on the back. So I want them to be double-sided. So this is 9 by 12 piece of watercolor paper. And if you want to have some little sparkly pens, these are Uni Ball, silver, gold, silver, and white. The white is a little funky over watercolor, so I really recommend staying with the gold and the silver, or black. You can use black. So if you do not have these fancy pens, black works fabulous because it adds contrast and it'll really look cool when you're done. All right. So, and you're going to need a piece of paper, maybe a piece of watercolor paper. I have this one underneath. I'm going to use the edge of this one, but you're going to need another little piece of scrap watercolor paper so you can do your little palette and you know what colors we're going to use. All right. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to start my, change my screen here, and we're going to get started. Oops, sorry. I did that to you again. I apologize. All right. Here I am. I have my paper, and I'm just turning it over on the back. And this is my little watercolor, so I don't watercolor my desk. I want to watercolor my desk. And I'm just going to do my palette over here. So right on the edge of my watercolor paper. And I am going to do 5 colors. So I'm going to write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with my pencil. And then I'm just like we did in the first video. And if you weren't there for that, that's okay. We're going to do it again here, so you can have that happen. I am going to put spaces, and I am not just putting 5 spaces. I'm putting all kinds of spaces. All kinds of spaces. So, oh, this is still a little bit wet on the other side because I'm doing these back to back. So I'm literally drawing whatever space I want. Look at this, how fun and fancy. Crazy shapes. All right, so lots of spaces. So I'm gonna draw lots of spaces. And then I have these 5 numbers. So I wanna and I don't care what the colors are right now, right? We don't care. This is paint by number. And we want it to be so easy and so fun and so surprising when we're done. So we're just gonna add numbers. So I am literally intuitively just saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoops. I got a little excited. Okay, 5. I don't want, oh, okay. Well, I don't like, okay. I don't like erasing. I don't like erasing. I'm going to make this a 1. I'm going to make this 8 a 3. I'm going to make this 9 a 4. Okay, Esther, only 5. So 3, 2. I should make that a 2. It looks better as a 2. 1, 5, and 3, and 1. Okay, so all I did was assign numbers randomly. Random, people, random, just random. Okay, so now I broke it up into spaces. And then I number the, oh, that's a 6. That doesn't want to be a 6. This wants to be a 4. Okay. And remember how many numbers that you start with, or you will end up doing what I'm doing and making up your own numbers. Okay. So 5. And now I'm going to take my paintbrush, and I'm going to assign colors. So I am going to pick, actually, let's write them down. Let's just write them down so we don't get blue. orange, green, brown, purple. I just did it off the top of my head. Okay. And you're going to see when this is done, it's going to be super cool. So trust the process. Trust the process. Everybody breathe. All right. So blues, I have several blue options, but I'm going to choose this blue option and I'm just going to go right over the word. So I have the word now and the color. Orange, different oranges here. I'm going to go with the orange. Green. I'm gonna go with the most obvious colors. I have a couple of different options in my palette here, but I'm gonna go with the most obvious colors. Brown, because I don't want to be guessing later about which one I chose. Brown. Get that hair off of my brush. And purple. There's purple. Let's go with this purple. Purple. Okay, those are my colors. So now it's literally fill in the dots, right? So blue is my first color, number one. You don't have to do these in order, but I'm going to. So I am going to get my brush on blue and I'm going to find all of my ones. So I have a one here and a one here and a one over here. I'm going to find all of my ones and I am going to paint them blue. Painting. And you can use the wet. So in the first video, I talked about wet on wet or wet on dry. And this is wet on dry that I'm doing right now. So you can see the paint just kind of goes where I put it and it doesn't fan out at all. If you're going to do wet on wet, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to make this other one here blue anyway. So I'm just going to make this nice and wet. Then I'll add some more color to it. And you can see the difference in intensities in these colors because this color is like super kind of diluted. And the other one is really vibrant in the corner. And this is literally, it's just because I have more water on my brush, but the color is kind of coming out a different color. So within this, I can just leave this just like this. And this can be blue, but it's a different shade of blue. And here it's darker. And if I want to make this a little bit darker along the edge here, and you can see what happens now. See, it's bleeding into the paper. So that's what happens when you use wet on wet. And so I'm just going to follow this natural line here where it got darker down this edge. Yeah. And then if I want to add more water to it, I can watch it spread out even more. Watercolor is so fun. All right, so I have any more ones? I have another one here. I'm gonna use a smaller brush because this is a smaller space up here. So I'm gonna get my same blue color. And just color that in. I absolutely love this technique. I think it is so freeing. I am definitely a bit of a recovering perfectionist, and this just allows me to just follow the directions. That's all I have to do. Really, really easy. Okay, so those are all the ones that I have. If you have others, fill those in. My two color is orange. So I'm going to grab my orange. Where are my twos? Identify my twos. 2, 2, and 2. So let's find my orange color. I'm going to go 2. And I'm not being too careful about this. I don't care if my colors meld together, if I get a little bit over the line, it doesn't matter to me. If it matters to you, perhaps try coloring outside the line and feeling that discomfort and saying, it's okay, I'm safe, nothing is ruined, nothing has gone wrong, everything is good. It's just watercolor on paper. Okay, so that my colors are, yeah, they're not really true. Maybe on the video they will be. They don't look true to me on the camera, but I'm just gonna say it's okay. Orange is orange. All of you know what orange is. So I'm not going to worry about it. And if this little wet space goes and bleeds onto my other side because I have it upside down, it's okay. I'm not concerned. This is totally an experimental process, and it's all going to be good. Good, 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 good. All right, orange, orange, orange. 2, okay, 3 is green. So I'm going to grab my green color. Let's see where my 3s are. 3, 3. There's a 3 down here in the corner. Oh, there's a 3 here too. I'm going to start there on that nice big space. So you could also, okay, so the other thing you could do is you could say, I have these 5 colors, but I've got 3 different greens in my palette. Maybe you have 3 different greens. So you could say, all right, I'm going to use 3 different greens. So this is all very free form. You can do this however you want. It's super accessible for everybody because you don't have to know anything about art. 0. I love that about this process. You have to know 0 about art. You just need to have a pencil, be able to draw a line, count to 5. Fortunately, all of you guys can count to 5. And then have some tools, a paintbrush and some paints. That's it. It's so easy, and it's going to be so cool when it's done. You will be absolutely amazed. You might go through this process and think to yourself, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I don't like what I'm doing. Why did I start this silly video? All of that might be going through your head. Just tell that part of yourself to just calm down, take a breath, and just let what happens happen. Lots of breathing. So you could see this blue, because it's wet still, the blue and the green are melding together. It looks really pretty. Going over that line, so perfect to go over the line. And you can see here where it's darker up top and lighter below. So even with the same shade of green, you can make kind of different shades of green. Okay, so I have one more green space here over here. Oh, I'm painting my camera now. It's really not cool. Okay. Uh-oh. See what I see? It doesn't have a number in it. What happens? What happens there? I don't know. I didn't plan it. It's just the way it happened. Just like life, stuff happens and it's not planned. And then what do? We just kind of make it up as we go along. And that's what's going to happen. I'm going to make it up as I go along. So if you guys were online, Zoom with me, I would ask you your opinion and you'd be able to tell me, do this, do this. I want to see what it looks like this way. But unfortunately, you're not. We will have to be on the replay together. And that will be just fine. Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to do there yet. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see. Maybe I'll just leave it white because it's no man's land. It has been unclaimed by a number. Or maybe I will, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. Brown is 4. Let's go with brown. And don't be afraid to use brown and black. Brown and black are colors. They are colors. They have things to share with us. So identify my 4s, 4, 4, and 4. And I didn't, you saw when I did this randomly, it was random. I didn't say I have to have 3 3s and I have to have 3 2s and I have to have 1 1. I didn't do any of that because I don't care. Oh my gosh, there's another unclaimed space. See what happens? See what happens, all these unexpected things. So fun. Okay. So back to what I was saying. I didn't do any of that. And so you can use these little brush strokes and that makes it look even more different. So even just with one color and your beautiful brush, you can do fun things with it. I lost my train of thought there. The train left the station without me. All right, so don't be afraid to use black and brown. Don't be afraid to go over the lines. I love that with the blue. It looks so pretty. And you can use, moderate your color by making it more darker. All right, now I can hear some of you thinking to yourselves, but Esther, you're gonna have these numbers in the middle of your thing, and what the heck are you gonna do about that? It's a fabulous question, people. I love that question. What we are gonna do is we are going to, well, there's lots of things we can do. We're gonna use our gold and silver pens, like I talked about. Let's grab them here, our gold and silver pens. So we can use those and we're gonna draw over these lines. So that's one thing we're gonna do. And then the numbers, we can just draw over them in gold and they will be perfect. Or we can just make them into something else. So we can make them into little shapes or whatever we want. All right, so 5, back to here, purple. And I'm using this giant brush, and you do not have to. It's super giant, and it's a little bit tough to paint in some of these spaces. Okay, oh my gosh, I love this deep purple next to the blue. So pretty. So pretty. Oh my goodness. Gorgeous. All right, so purple. My cat is meowing. Purple, this is my other 5 over here. All right, so I get to choose what to do with these. Oh, and she's gonna join us. What to do with these. She's walking in my paint with these extra spaces. So you have the big fat brush, a small brush for that. All right, so I'm just gonna make this one. I get to choose since it's unnamed. So I am going to make this one purple because we only have 2 purple spots. So it seems like the purple needs to play a little bit more. We're gonna let it do so in this space here. Yes, Kitty. Somebody is hungry. I will feed her as soon as I'm done with this video. In the meantime, you get to see parts of her. All right. I see there's some waxy resist. I don't know what this is from on here. Okay, cat. It could be from my kitty Misha stepping on the page. It's possible. So this got really dark, but I'm just going to let that be there. Okay. And then I have this white space over here, and I'm thinking it's just going to be white. I want to leave it white. So look at that. We have our whole color by number here. The whole thing is done based on these colors. And this looks like it's still this blue. It's very light blue over here. So there it is. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to find a spot that's kind of dryish. This is a little bit dry. So I'm going to show you what happens here. I'm going to use my gold pen. And I'm just going to draw right over these pencil lines. So I'm just tracing. The pen is a little cranky. I'm just tracing this line. Tracing. See, and you really want to kind of wait until this is dry, but for purposes of this, I really want to show you what this looks like before the video is over. So I'm tracing these lines. And I'm not being too particular if my line wiggles, it's okay. I'm not worried about it. The whole point is to kind of cover up those pencil lines here. I'm a little wide. Okay, cover up those pencil lines, and you can see this. I think you can see this. See how that gold shimmers? Part of that paint's still wet too, but you can see that gold line shimmer. And that's not because, well, it might be because a little bit because it's wet, but it's also because it's just sparkly. It's got little sparkles in it. All right, and then we have these numbers, right? We have these numbers. Okay, so I can just say, I'm going to draw over this too. And this is how I recommend you start. to draw over the two and then see what calls to you. You might just say, I don't care. I'm just going to leave these numbers in here. They're kind of fun. Here, this one was a little bit, I drew over this one and made it a 1, or I made it something else, a 7, and then a 1, and then a 2. And so I'm just going to take this and I'm literally just, whatever comes to me is what I am doing. So now I have this really fun, you can see this really fun symbol in there. I don't know what that is, but that's what came out. So that's what I'm putting on the page. So this really fun symbol, and you can't even tell anymore. If you really look at it, you'll know, oh, it's a 2, but here we can. You could do something like that, and now it doesn't even look like a 2. Oh, it still sort of looks like a 2. Doesn't matter whether it looks like a 2 or not. Okay, so we can just use these numbers, whatever's in here, as a way to play and make little symbols and shapes in there. So I'll do one more for you here. This is a 3 right now, and we're going to make it an even bigger 3. And that just looks cool and fun. Okay, so now what happens when you're done, and we're not done here, is that, and I showed you these on the other video, you can make little courage cards out of them. So you can see here, painted on both sides. These are not decorated. They're just, and this is just typed out. I think I used, you can use copy paper, but I think I used cardstock, white cardstock for that. And then you can just cut them out and make them into these beautiful little courage cards that you can use to share with friends or send in birthday cards or leave on the bus or in library cards or use as bookmarks or just pull a card every day or once a week and then think about what's happening. I mean, if you pulled all is well, always and always, and then you thought about that every day for a week, that would be really affirming and make you feel so safe and loved if you really thought about that every single day. All right, so I'm going to finish my piece. You can see here's the back side. Here's the other side. There it is. I'm going to come back to you here. All right, enjoy your card.